so that those first responders can do the work that they're doing as safely as possible and as quickly as possible to begin to piece together really what happened.
And speaking of pieces, if you find any debris in your yard, whether it's a business or your home, do not touch it.
Yeah.
Take a photo. The emergency services website has a place where you can go and forward that photo on so NTSB can collect it, because this is a wide range scenario. It took up a whole city block, essentially, not just on the runway, but it went through some major buildings. Total hits to Kentucky Petroleum Recycling, which of any kind of building you do not want a plane to crash into. And then Grade A Auto Parts at one point had maybe some customers or employees unaccounted for. We're kind of hearing some discrepancies there. That is a question today I want to ask, is if every one of those employees have been accounted for, because the people on the ground, that's where a lot of these casualties are coming from. And they didn't know a total number to look for yesterday, because you have customers going in and out.
It was 5:30.
Yeah, people were going out of work and coming. So, and obviously, you know, UPS, their second shifters, they're not going into work today. JCPS has been called off for that shelter in place, because they want to monitor the air quality in the water. So there's a lot of moving parts today, but you know, it's hard without seeing like the aerials. We know that they're still putting water on the scene. It's smoldering right now.
And that's what Jim Stratman has been watching all morning long, is Jim, fire trucks, LMPD officers coming and going from that area right around Grade Lane that, again, we have been asking people to avoid. Let those first responders do their job.
Exactly, Grace. And actually, I was taking a quick look through the camera. Philip had really zoomed in further down Grade Lane, and I was able to see some first responders walking around, working. You'll be able to see at least one fire engine down there doing work right now in what we imagine is probably the crash zone, or part of the crash zone. We know that this has been the area that crews have been focusing on. We've been pushed all the way back really to in front of the UPS Worldport to be able to get even a little bit of a shot, a little bit of a look at what crews are able to do down there, because they want that space. They need that space, honestly, to be able to investigate. And at this point, still, crews working on making sure all the hot spots are out. These fires have been burning for the better part of 14, 16 hours at this point, since that crash happened around 5:15 yesterday evening. Crews have been working around the clock. We saw it overnight. We saw it this morning with our drone, in fact, as well, showing water being poured onto spots in that crash zone. Crews have been trying tirelessly to be able to get these fires completely extinguished, and also to make sure that they're searching for the people who may still be in trouble in this crash zone. We know that they were beginning the rescue operations back up again, going around the neighborhoods around here, going to the different businesses, checking for damage, checking for people who are hurt, checking for survivors, checking for victims, trying to make sure that everybody is accounted for. We know that at least 9 people have already lost their lives, 3 people on the plane. We have not, as Brooke has said, gotten it confirmed yet that those people who were a part of the flight crew have died, but we know that at least 9 people have been confirmed dead so far, and that does mean that people in our community have passed away as a result of this crash. We know that plenty more were injured, at least 11 others. U of L Health reporting at least 15 people came to their hospitals across Jefferson County with different injuries at different hospitals throughout the night. 13 of those people have been released, which is good to know, but at least 2 are still in have critical injuries. This is something that is going to be developing throughout the day. You can see another first responder heading down there right now. This has been a very active spot. Multiple crews coming back and forth as they try to get an update on what exactly is the situation at this point in time. It's been an ever-evolving situation, one that is constantly changing, constantly getting more parts to it, more moving parts, cogs spinning as the day goes on. Now, we are, again, hoping to get some more information when that news conference begins here shortly with the mayor, with airport officials. Hopefully we'll be able to get a little bit more of an update. Grace, you and I were able to speak with the mayor live on GMK earlier today. He informed us that the sad reality is based on the numbers that they had this morning, they did expect more people would probably be listed as those hurt or even those who have died, because they just simply have not been able to canvass everybody and account for everybody at this point. And that's the sad reality of where we were this morning, and we hope we'll be able to learn maybe some more encouraging news as the day goes on. But again, it is a scene that it's tough to watch when you see the video that has come in of the plane crash itself, and you see the widespread devastation that it left here in our community. It's something that I think everybody in Jefferson County saw last night, or at least heard about. All you had to really do was look up in the sky and you saw the aftermath of that crash, the flames burning, the smoke plume, the black cloud of smoke rising into the sky. It was hard to look at, honestly, and not feel some sense of worry about what was happening just a few miles away from where you were. Now, we do know that a number of people were taken to the hospital. A number have already been released, which is great news. But 2 critically injured, at least 9 people dead. Those numbers, again, could go up at any point today. It's something that we're going to have to continue to monitor as the day goes on. Grace, we've been out here along Grade Lane for a while now. Again, a very active situation. We've seen UPS workers coming in and out of the airport, coming into their jobs. A lot of them still expected to report today, even though we did get word that some of those workers were not going to be reporting for work. It's an ever-evolving situation. As I've said, I'm watching a UPS truck right now leaving this facility, turning and going just past us. Seeing a TARC bus as well, which is good to know, because TARC had suspended their services yesterday in the midst of all of this happening, in the midst of the shelter-in-place order being pretty much for the entirety of Jefferson County. We knew that the buses had stopped running. They're now running again today, even though there may be some delays and disruptions depending on where you're trying to travel to. So things starting to try to return to some sort of normal throughout the county, but out here, it is still very much an active investigation, an active scene, and crews looking for all the space and time that you can give them, because they need to be able to investigate. They need to continue the search efforts. They need to be able to continue to do what they've been doing for hours and hours and hours now.
All right, Jim, thank you so much keeping up with our coverage there from the Grade Lane area. And like Jim has been mentioning, everybody, again, if you are heading out and about, especially as we approach the lunch hour, that area around Grade Lane, Muhammad Ali International, you need to avoid. Jim, thank you so much.
And again, we are coming to you live here on WHAS 11. It is 11:10 here on your Wednesday. We are awaiting a news conference. Was expected to happen about 10 minutes ago, but we know how these things go over at the Regional Airport Authority here in Louisville, where we're expecting Mayor Craig Greenberg, along with EMA here in Louisville, Jody Myman, a number of people from the airport to give us an update. And then in a matter of moments after that should be Governor Andy Beshear's Team Kentucky update, which was scheduled for 11:30. So we're monitoring 2 different situations, all with the main message about what's happened so far and what we know with the 9 confirmed dead in this horrific crash of the UPS cargo plane with 3 on board. But the trek, it takes you, when you look at the maps, off the runway and into several businesses. It was this fireball. I'm hoping if we can show more of the dash cam video. That's some of our newest video where you see this truck driver just sitting there and the plane is up like this. I mean, you see it, and we've talked to an aviation expert who's also an attorney. I mean, you can see this video right now. The plane is sideways. It's absolutely devastating. And you can see, again, it's off the runway.
The speed with which it catches fire, just how devastating that is. When we were talking to that aviation expert, he identified that, in some of the videos he'd seen, that it appeared that maybe one of the engines was still on the runway. He was pointing out to us some of the mechanical failures that might suggest. And something I thought was interesting as someone who's not an expert in any way in aviation, is that in certain ways, these engines are made to come off of the plane.
Right.
Because they're so heavy, they will take them off to do routine maintenance on the plane. But for something like this to happen, this expert, Lad Sanger out of Dallas, was explaining to us that that engine would have had to theoretically be ripped from the plane, which would be really a catastrophic
The pipe
failure.
with all the fuel, and again, both of us not experts in this, but that was what got me, is that, he said once, as a pilot, you are trained, once you get to a certain speed, if you see something going on, if your engine is on fire, you no longer have the ability to try to stop the plane or veer into another direction. You are taught to take flight and deal with it in the air. And from what we've heard from our experts throughout last night and into this morning, that plane got maybe 175 feet into the air before it came back down into that fireball there. And we're seeing so many different videos, hard to watch for a lot of people. And as we start to get names and see the faces of those impacted, very likely you're not going to be seeing a lot of these images so fast
anymore.
Played.
Yeah. And we certainly know, like you mentioned, 9 people that we know so far who have passed away. We want to show you what Governor Beshear tweeted a little bit earlier on this morning, saying, Kentucky, more heartbreaking news out of Louisville. The number of those lost has now risen to at least 9, with the possibility of more. Right now, these families need prayers, love, and support. Let's wrap our arms around them during this unimaginable time. That message from the governor, and unimaginable does kind of put a pin in it. We can't explain exactly what has happened just yet. We certainly know that more details are going to continue to emerge over the course of the next few hours. And one of those details has been the number of those injured. For a long time, we were saying that we know 7 people had died. Now we know that's 9. For a long time, we were saying 11 people had been injured. We now know that U of L Health says they had treated 15 people, 13 of them thankfully have been discharged from the hospital.